won't be with us. She is preparing for her TED Talk. Is everyone planning to take a look at that in Ridgeway at the end of the day? Hope you can. Maybe. Not sure. You should. It's going to be wonderful if you have the time. You can make it. Ridgeway, I think she's set in the 2 to 2:30 block. Is that right, Cindy?
I think it's like 2:30 to 3.
Oh, 2:30.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's
that was
plenty of
my
time. Once
estimate.
we get, we'll try and get you out here a little bit early so you can head back to your apartments or dorms or whatever and put stuff up. But I would encourage you to check it out. Obviously, it'll be made online, available afterward. But I wanted to first do some project updates and just get a sense from all of you on how things are going. This is our way to check in with you halfway. In the gap bell curve of things, you're kind of thick in it right now. Maybe have kind of figured out what the actual deliverables are going to be. Not entirely sure how you're going to get them done. Haven't even started thinking about your presentation. So we're going to take today to help you think through some of that and get ready for the last half of the semester, because as you might imagine, with any midterms and finals, it goes really fast. And we want to make sure that you're prepared for success for your final presentations. So I'm actually just going to do this in a Google Doc so I can share this with Dr. Griffin. I'll take notes as we go. Which team wants to go first? Volunteers.
You go first.
Okay, in a consulting business, right?
Neuromarketing?
Neuromarketing. Okay, how are things going? Where are you? What are you working on? Your deliverables? Just give us a synopsis. And
Right. Well, we're working with eLuxury. We are doing a haptic study for them. So we are we've gathered data. We're analyzing the data. We should be coming out with results. I don't know. What do you think?
okay.
Within the next week or two. We're also doing a logo analysis type of thing with the WUEB.
Oh, cool.
Just analyzing what the effect of the logo is on people.
We're still waiting to send that out. We're designing it right now.
How are things going in general? Do you feel like you have enough information for where you are right now for the last half of the semester?
Yeah, I think so. It's a lot of just kind of on the fly figuring things out, but I think we're managing pretty well. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well.
No challenge, anything we can help you, anything you need us to pry loose from eLuxury?
Any what?
Anything you need us to pry loose from eLuxury or anything you're waiting on from them? All right. Okay. Thank you. Who's next? Data here?
Yeah, that is your
Data's here. Good morning.
good morning.
How are things going?
Great.
Great.
I split my finger this morning as well.
Oh,
But,
no, that's okay. We've
We're
got,
good.
I'll get the sign in back to you. Someone take that. Pass that back. Make sure we'll get you counted.
Yeah.
All right, so note to all the other teams that probably familiar with neuromarketing. Data analytics is one of the newer projects. It's a massively growing field as far as hireability for students, and they're developing the first ever data analytics gap project here, also with eLuxury. So, give me an update. How are things going?
Yeah, just in the last week or so, we got our data.
Okay, great.
So we're working on answering their preliminary questions, so figuring out the programs that we're using.
Okay, so you're just getting to dive into
Yeah.
the program that Dr. Reeser's got you using and figuring out how it works,
Yeah.
learning the software.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of asks. So we first split into two teams and we lost a team member. So we had a little difficulty in getting it. And then
Sure.
our data, the first set of data that we got wasn't enough for us to answer the question. So we had a few follow-up requests and we just got those on Thursday. Last Thursday.
Okay, great.
But at this point, we believe that we do have all the data that we need to answer all the questions that they're currently asking us. And we're hoping we can do that and present what we have maybe a little earlier than what the final presentation date should be, to see if we could even answer more questions.
Okay, that's great work. That would be a big service to that very talented company. Any other challenges as far as, and that's typical for GAP projects. There are often changes at the beginning of the semester, changes with your client, changes with the expectation, changes with the type of data you get or don't get. That's very real world. Never do you get an assignment or a task and some clean set of perfectly figured out items is given to you. You work with it, team members change. When I worked for Justice O'Connor, I had 3 different executive directors in 2 years, and each one had a different set of priorities. Each one assigned me to a different task. My job title changed twice.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's messy, guys, and it can be fun if you have these set of skills. So I think it's great that you're going through that experience by working through it. But it sounds like you're managing it just fine anyway. So
It's been fun.
anything you need from us that we can support you on, either from Mr. Ellsworth or Dr. Reister or Dr. Griffin or myself?
There's a
Anything?
program that we're using to analyze the data. It's new. It's called. We're using it to kind of identify gender from first name,
Okay,
and it's called API.
API?
Gender. I think it's API gender, and we might need to subscribe for it in order for us to use it. So,
Gotcha.
and I think Dr. Reister is on it.
okay,
And
Usually is.
yeah, by next week we should, I think we're gonna need it, so it's just, paying for that.
yeah, we usually have some program, if any of you run into that as well, GAP has some program money set aside for each of the projects. In case you run into that kind of thing, you need a subscription to something in order to figure something out, or as you get closer, if you need to develop a map, you need to print something out that's a cost of $20 or something, help you with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're trying to see if we can get a student discount or something like that first.
Mhm.
So we emailed them, but they're in Germany, so if we're saying
Okay,
by when they respond to us, but if not, we're gonna have to subscribe.
I'll see if Dr. Griffin has any contacts. She's lived and worked in Germany
Yeah.
for quite some time, so she might have somebody over there that either knows that company or
Yeah.
works for them.
Right.
I'll check into it. Who's next?
As we
Yeah.
All right, which group?
Alternative energy.
That's right. All right, what crazy stuff are you guys working on?
We've done our first 2 energy audits on 2 residences. Now we are just sifting through all the data we gathered, trying to figure out what it means and what we need to do about it.
Were they done, like professors' homes or just local people in the local area?
Just local.
Local people? Not affiliated with UE? That's awesome. I think the last team dragooned a bunch of faculty into doing it. So it sounds like it's branching out. You actually have, for the alumni session, 2 former members of the alternative energy team today, so free to pick their brain. What else? How are you guys broken up this time? Are you in teams of 2 again, doing individual audits, or half and half? How did you guys structure it?
Right now, we're half and half since we have only 2 residences. We're still looking to get a commercial client,
Okay.
but that's ongoing
Mm-hmm.
and not official as of yet.
Gotcha. Are there prospects? Is Mr. Ellsworth helping you with that?
Yes.
Okay. I'll check in with them to see if they need any help with that. Okay. Anything else going on with the team, or challenges, questions, or struggles, or feel pretty good for where you are right now?
We're trying to build a relationship with Vectren, and there was a conference call we had with them I think, last week, discussing what we need to do, steps we need to take to formalize relationship between
Right.
yourself and UE.
That's awesome. Pretty big deal. Have you looked into how many other universities have this? I know you guys, was it University of Dayton?
Yeah.
Did you find any other universities our size that have a formalized relationship doing consulting for an energy company?
I don't think we did. When the guy from Action came in and talked to our class, I think he said it was just a couple schools down. I know.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big deal what you're working toward. And you may want to research just how big a deal it is. That might be a little feather in their cap you can give them if you take a look at all the kind of small private schools around the country and find out that there's only one other one that's done this. Might be good PR for the energy company to work on. Did the conference call go well, do you think? They pretty responsive or just a lot of questions?
They had a lot of information for us. It was kind of just like digesting it all about their program with Dayton and how that worked and how we can apply that
Okay.
to talking to them. But it was very, yeah, got a lot out of it.
Very cool. All right, who's next? Can I add something?
Well, we just had you mentioned that there was some money in for a gap budget.
Mhm.
One thing that we are working on is a website for the Neuromarketing Research Center, which is sort of what the neuromarketing arm of this calls themselves to the public.
Mhm.
But that would be probably, we estimate a maximum of about $20 a month from like GoDaddy or what's the other ones?
For hosting and support and all that?
Yeah, right, exactly. To get the domain and whatnot. So that is something, we asked the Don Jones, I
Uh-huh.
believe, and I don't think the university has that in their budget.
Right.
So that might be something to explore.
Yeah, well, we could get you a year or two maybe, something like
Right.
that, so,
Cool.
yeah, I'll try to tell. If anyone else thinks of stuff like that as we go today, I can always add more requests into this. Okay. Who else? Am I missing anyone? Hey, what's up, Green Link? All right, where are you guys?
Right now, we just had a guest speaker in a little bit.
He was helping us to make a map plan and all the sections we're looking at. He was saying that he can help us and put together and label them and showing like the different areas where we can connect the bike trails at.
Okay.
So that's basically what we're doing right now. We're trying to make a map and determine all the points of high traffic or, high concern or somewhere some people specifically wanted, a trail or something to be. And we'll mark all the points that those cross over with and, focus more on those proposals.
Great. Who was the speaker? Was it was after Phil Cooper, right? Or was it?
Yes, it was after.
After. Was it Jeremy?
Yes, that's his name.
Okay, great. So he is a pretty good speaker to bring in. The Greenway Link folks, again, they're trying to connect all the trails around the city. We've got a lot of disparate things. We have these trails over here that are across country. We've got the Greenbelt downtown. You've got random trails throughout the neighborhoods here. So looking at a way to kind of connect all of them together. And then any potential areas for funding. Evansville's been designated a promise zone and a couple of other things. They have to completely redo how the sewer works. There's a ton of money available, so we might be able to build a whole big green belt. So looking at a lot of big picture issues. And Jeremy Coombs, right? Is that his name?
Yes.
He's a lead of a construction company, a very, very wealthy one. And he's young and energetic and wants to work with UV students on designing this and making it a more accessible green space throughout the city. So I'm glad he was able to make it in. Do you feel like you are clear on what your deliverables would be for the end of the semester? Or still a little fuzzy on that?
We've been working on that. The problem is we can't really take everyone in one meeting because all of our members are very, very busy.
Right.
I think everyone will be there Tuesday.
Okay,
And that's the first time in a long time, so everything will be clarified.
great.
As for what I'm doing, right now, I was looking at, as a French major, France, they have like a bike sharing program, it's pretty well established. So I was just comparing it to that we could have here, so just of what ways they were able to make these trails around the city and like what was the mayor saying, were they bringing into it.
Right. The one financial need I could see for your team would be to actually print some large visual aids for your presentation, instead of just showing it up on the screen. I don't know if you've talked with Don about that, but maybe chat through if he has the vision of at your final presentation, there's an easel that's got a big, beautiful color map, on a foam board or something of your recommendation. You would have some money for that. That wouldn't be too expensive to put together. So at your next meeting, if I'm not at that one, chat with him about it and see if there are any printing needs he can think of, and we could probably set aside some funds for that.
Didn't they just install a bike trail in
That just launched this month for a
bike share?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it on campus as well? On
Oh,
campus?
yeah, it's pretty all over the city. There's actually on the chain right right here.
Yeah.
It's super effective as well.
If you guys can, the press conference is Monday, 10:30 in, I believe in iCamp, where we hold the Changemaker competitions. And bike share is one, there will be a station here on campus, 7 or 8 throughout the city. So you can just go over, grab a bike, go down to Guinea's Corner, drop it off, have dinner, get another one, bring it back, leave it here. It's going to make a huge difference in how you access the cultural districts around the city. They'll have them at hospitals. It's going to be fantastic. And there's a bunch of sponsors coming in, Toyota, all the people that made this happen, Don Jones, the Changemaker teams, high school teams, and the college teams are all going to be there on Monday to talk about it. So you may want to go check that out. But yeah, we will have a station. Is it here?
Yeah, it's actually back by Schrader.
Wow, cool.
Bikes are there.
When I lived in DC, I used them all the time. They're just so convenient. It's wonderful that we're having that. It was made possible, started with Dr. Reeser's alternative energy team last fall, and it kind of gained momentum from there, fed into the high school Changemaker team, Central Memorial, and they worked together to help make it happen. It's really cool. Okay, I think I have the 4 projects that were supposed to be here today. Scholars for Syria, they're taking it for 1 credit, so they're not here. And then the consulting business gap students are all repeat gappers, so they're not here. Did I miss a team for project updates? Is there anything else that's popped up in your head as needs or concerns you have? You don't feel like you're clear on your deliverables yet? How are the team charters? Did they all get done? They can be flexible how you did them, but does every team have a team charter? Did you guys get one?
I don't have one, it needs some editing.
Okay.
With that, so.
Sounds good. I can help with that if you need it. If you haven't had a chance to put that up in EduSource, please do so, or you can email it to me and I can upload it for you. It's it's just like putting it into Dropbox or something. But that way they're all there and Dr. Griffin can take a look when she gets a chance. Okay. Cindy, anything you could think of that I'm missing and that we need to know from the teams as far as updates?
Can't think of anything right now. If I do, I'll let you know.
Okay, so I am going to now bring up some people who have been through this before. So if the 3 here in the back can come up, I don't know what's easiest for you, if you want to pull chairs around and maybe, how's viewing? Can you see if they sit about here? That way the students who couldn't be good
Should
today
be able
can
to,
see it.
yep.
Okay, yeah. Tell me how it. I'll give you guys a little intro.
Yeah, you may have to
Move back.
sit a bit closer, pretty close, so we don't have a,
Nice and
a
cozy.
lot of distance to widen our. Okay, I've got the 3 of them.
Love it.
Stars are born here.
Okay, we wanted to provide you some alumni to talk to. We've done this before at previous GAP camps to varying degrees of success depending on your willingness to be open and honest with them and share your concerns and struggles. So oftentimes the alumni will get up here and they'll share their experience, which you'll find helpful, but you may not know exactly what to ask or what to talk about with them. But you can be open and honest. They've been through it. They've been where you are. They've gotten to the even worse part as you get close to the final presentation. They've learned things about what they wish they would have done, what they were proud that they did. So let this be an open and honest discussion with them about your experience so far. GAP is messy by design. And this is a chance for you to kind of talk through, well, we're really struggling with this or not sure how to get to this point. And you've got a wide range of experience here, all from different, they were on the same project, right?
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
But she was
so-
also on Barry.
Also on Barry. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to take a few minutes to talk about which projects you were on, your own personal experience, what you wish you would have done differently or what you're glad you did. And then we'll just open it up to a discussion until lunch. I will get out of the way.
Okay, so my name is Robert Litchfield. I worked on the A.O. Smith GAP project, where we did market research on a potential product for them. And then I did a consecutive semester with the GAP. Well, it was actually not for credit anymore. It was kind of just finishing up loose ends for the project, which went on another semester. And then that further went on to be a small internship with the GAP program to kind of finalize the project a bit more. And I also worked on the first semester of the neuromarketing program.
I'm Alex Schmidt. I was in the Alternative Energy GAP program this past spring and recently graduated as well. We did energy audits for both residences and commercial businesses, and we kind of broke the semester up into 3 different segments. The first part was just establishing our business and trying to figure out how we're going to do this. The second part was marketing, so actually reaching out to the people, trying to find our clients. And then the third part was actually performing the energy audits. So if you're in one of the beginning semesters, you might be forming the business itself as opposed to like trying to take over for the past work. So it kind of depends on how developed the program is, what you'll end up doing, and how you'll end up finding your experience. It will kind of, all of them will be fuzzy and hazy, and you won't quite know what to do. But sometimes if you're first starting them out, first semester, you can like feel especially hazy on which way you want the program to go. But just rely on your other teammates, your coaches, and all of that, and constantly be asking them questions for guidance.
My name is Rihanna. I have not graduated yet. I'm a senior here. My junior year, in the fall semester, I worked with Berry Plastics, and my team actually created some packaging ideas for things that were being shipped from Amazon. It was a really fun class, but also at the end, I hated it, and I hated my life, and I vowed to never do the GAP program ever again. And then on the first day of classes in the spring semester, Joe Ellsworth came into a class that I had and said that he had this new GAP program. It wasn't really new, but it was like the second semester. It was alternative energy. So I dropped that class and did the GAP program again. So I don't know. I mean, it was a really great experience. I put it on my resume, and I put my resume out on JobLink. And then I had an internship last spring, and also it was going to like lead into this summer. And then out of nowhere, Meade Johnson actually called me because they had found my resume and saw that I had done the alternative energy project. And they were excited about it because they saw that I was able to take skills from like my business background and apply them in, to something that has a little bit more like statistics driven and things like that. And so I got a second internship this summer. So GAP was definitely very beneficial for me because they looked at both like the projects that I had on there, and it got me a second internship that I didn't even have to apply for. So put your resumes out on JobLink. You never know who might find it. But also, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Did you, on like the first couple of days of class, did you have to do like that fuzzy beginning thing where you like read the article? I hated that. But, I mean, it's definitely true. My class, like when we were working with Berry Plastics, we were doing 2 classes at the same time, and so 4 of us were just in it for Berry Plastics, and then there was another 5 people who were in it in a GAP class that was supposed to work with another company that ended up backing out like the first week of classes. So they then started working with Berry Plastics. So it was really fuzzy because our teams got all like mushed up, and we really didn't, like, Barry was like, well, we kind of want this, but we're not really sure what we want. And so, I mean, I hated that fuzzy beginnings thing, but it definitely rings true. So yeah, do you guys have anything?
I thought of more stuff I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
I was going to elaborate a bit more. So actually, I'm a graduate as well. My major was internet technology, so not at all related to any of the stuff I worked on, really. We had the opportunity actually to fly up to Milwaukee and present to AOSmith in person. That was cool. That's part of the reason we ended up doing a second semester. We worked on our original presentation and kind of cleaned it up for an in-person, presentation with some of their semi-important people, which was a good experience.
Yeah, they're CEOs.
What
Very important people. They're
Yeah.
actual CEOs of the company, and they still talk about you guys.
That's good. Good to know.
Very good job.
Currently, I work at Springleaf Financial, which is going to be, I think, if it's the first, I believe it's One Main Financial now officially. But I work with big data there. I'm in the data warehouse, so I kind of, I do business intelligence stuff. I answer business questions other departments have for auditing purposes, accounting purposes, and the like. So, a little bit more about me.
That's one of the cool things about GAP is you get to meet these people really high up in the company. So for our presentation, we were presenting to the founder and the president of Fire and Rain. It's a local marketing group here in town, and then also to the president of Vectren South. So it was really cool to make those connections and make sure that you're following up with those connections, because they can lead to jobs. I actually got my current job through GAP. I currently work at Morton Solar, and Brad Morton, the owner of the company, came into class a couple of times. And the last 2 times I just handed him a resume so I could have face-to-face interaction without even like leaving campus, really. So that was a really cool thing about the GAP process. And then after the presentation, I went up to the president of Vector and handed him a resume. Said I was looking for a job after graduation. That was so you can make really, really good connections and try to work your way into the company's systems.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest, I mean, sometimes it's hard, like when you're in the GAP class, because you're just like, well, what have I done? We're always asking you for like project updates and, things that you can present to us all throughout the semester. And so you think, well, I just made a presentation, or, I've only been doing like research on this, or, it doesn't always seem like you're doing a lot, even though you really are. Because you kind of look back and you're like, well, I don't really have anything to show for this. But when you like sit down and you're adding it to your resume, sometimes, like you're like, oh, well, I just designed this. Like some of those things that you don't really think are a big deal, you can really capitalize on like your resume and things like that. Like I was like, oh, I was just in this project. Like I don't know how much I really learned about alternative energy. when they asked me about it in my interview, I started freaking out. I was like, oh my God, like what did I learn? But, you know, what's great about it is that sometimes like when you're in it, you don't realize what you're doing. So, I mean, I'm a marketing major, but I was helping the class form all of like their business decisions. I, you know, was bringing like this outsider input into like the class. So there's a lot of things that, you know, like, oh, like I just made a PowerPoint. Well, no, like you're presenting to people who are very important, and it's really intimidating, but if you can do that in a classroom setting, you know, and you can be a college student and get a CEO of a company to listen to you and be excited about your ideas, that's a huge deal. So I know that sometimes you're like, oh, like I'm not doing anything. I don't have anything to show. Like you really are doing a lot. And this really is a great opportunity that you guys are able to take advantage of. Do you guys have any questions or anything?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there, are there any, if you would do the GAP programs again, what would you change about them? And I'd like to hear from you.
Personally, when I was in the Berry Plastics one, there wasn't a lot of class time to work on our project. I felt like we were doing a lot of things like that fuzzy beginnings, and just a lot of things that I didn't really feel gave value to the project. Like if we'd been able to work on, because we were just doing like a different, I mean, to me it felt like busy work. We were just doing that every single class period, and then my group would have to go back. Like we would meet every Sunday at noon, and then we would work on stuff. So that was something that I would change. But then when I was in it the second semester with the alternative energy group, we did a lot of stuff in class, which was awesome. I don't know how your guys' classes are set up, because I had.
I'm just really glad you brought that up, because your feedback is crucial, and this is an important point. The whole reason we're doing gap camps now is because we had students advise us of exactly that. They needed their class time to be used for actually working on your projects, instead of teaching you how to set up a project plan and teaching you how to do a presentation. If we could pull those things that you do need to learn, but pull them out to these all-day sessions, then when you meet together, you can really dig in as much as possible on your project. And you're still likely to need to meet outside of your class time. And I would like each of you to also talk about how often you did that. But if you have ideas on how to improve this experience, Dr. Griffin and Cindy and I take them very seriously. These gap camps exist for that very reason. So.
Oh, and also I am the work study for the GAP program. So my email is rh168. So if you have any other ideas or anything, or complaints or anything that maybe you don't want to like bring up to your professor, I can also take them, because I'm supposed to help with this kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, she's here all year as well. So if you think of something, just shoot her an email. Like, I wish we had this, or this could be done better.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know, I really enjoy